advanced diploma.
तो ये माना कला सौर्य वाला बड़ा नाम नहीं मु एबे जिमी ताको मते ये रबार रहिबिनी काली पळेबी काली पळेबी आसिल तापर ता पाको जाई कि ताको से जो पैसा रे देबी ताको हिसाब ताको ये करी मु हम एला पर ताको मो सब 2 दिन रानी मते परिवा हिसाब दोना मु ताको मागु कि हां ता पाकर अछि
Hi, good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Mm, okay, fine. Once again, a very good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining today's call. So today we are going to discuss about gas cylinders rules. This is also one of the topic in IS 105, which is legislation paper. I'm sharing my screen. Once you're able to see the PDF, just say yes in chat box so that we can start. Yeah. Okay. Let us go into the topic. So, if you see, these rules may be called as the gas cylinders rules, which are comes under the umbrella of Explosives Act 1984. And also, you can see the definition of auto LPG as well here. Means a liquefied petroleum gas. LPG means a liquefied petroleum gas, means for automotive fuels, conforming to the specific to the IS 14861 standard. Okay, then chief controller means a chief controller of explosives. So he is the person who controls the licensing issuing part and also the inspection part of with respect to the cylinders. How, like in factories we have inspector of factories, here we have chief controller of explosives. He's going to the person who will be act as inspector of factories with respect to explosive side. అంటే మనకి ఫ్యాక్టరీస్ లో మనకి ఎలాగైతే మనకి ఇన్స్పెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్యాక్టరీస్ ఉంటారో, ఈ సిలిండర్కి సంబంధించిన లైసెన్స్లు కానీ వాటి యొక్క రెన్యువల్స్ కానీ వాటికి సంబంధించిన సేఫ్టీ రిలేటెడ్ వ్యవహారాలన్నీ కూడాను ఈ చీఫ్ కంట్రోల్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లోజివ్స్ అనే వాళ్ళు చూస్తూ ఉంటారు. ఓకే, we'll see what is mean by a compressed gas. So compressed gas means a permanent gas, a liquefiable gas or a gas dissolved in liquid under the pressure, or a gas mixture which is in a closed gas cylinder exercises pressure either exceeding 2.5 kg per centimeter square at plus degree 15 degrees centigrade, or a pressure exceeding 3 kg per centimeter square at 50 degrees, both including cryogenic liquids. If you see the example, for the purpose of this clause, hydrogen fluoride falls within the scope of compressed gas through in a vapor pressure of at 50 degrees centigrade is 1.7 to 1.8 atmosphere gauge. So basically ఏంటంటే a, a gas which is compressed into a liquid form at the pressure of 2.5 kg per centimeter square in 15 degrees centigrade, or other ways a 3 kg per centimeter square at 50 degree, anything will be fall under this compressed gas category. Now other definition is controller. So controller means includes a joint chief controller of explosives and deputy chief controller of explosives, the controller of explosives and deputy controller of explosives. So all these designations, who is carrying, all those people fall under this controller controller category. Okay. Then if you see CNG, compressed natural gas, you can see these word very popular in the cars, recent cars, which will come with petrol plus CNG. It is a mixture of hydrocarbon gas and vapors, consisting mainly of methane or a suitable mixture of hydrogen and methane in gaseous form, which has been compressed for the use as an automobile fuel and industrial application that includes compressed biogas. So it is a combination of hydrocarbons, gases, and also vapors, consisting mainly of methane is used in the vehicles to run a vehicle, as well as so basically this standard also look after various other areas apart from industry. They will give licenses to the composite CNG dispensing units, CNG mother stations, as well as online stations, then CNG daughter stations. So these are the various status like petrol pumps. For the petrol pumps also, a chief controller is going to give a license. These definitions are not so important with respect to the examination point of view, but for your knowledge, we can have a look into it. సో ఈ చీఫ్ కంట్రోల్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళు ఫ్యాక్టరీకి సంబంధించిన గ్యాస్ సిలిండర్స్ రిక్వైర్మెంటే కాకుండా ఈ ఎక్కడైతే ఈ గ్యాసెస్ వాడతారో సిలిండర్స్, పెద్ద పెద్ద సిలిండర్స్, స్టోరేజ్ ట్యాంక్స్ ఎక్కడైతే ఉంటాయో మేజర్లీ ఈ పెట్రోల్ పంప్స్ కానీ లేదంటే స్టోరేజ్ గోడౌన్స్ కానీ, డిస్పెన్సింగ్ యూనిట్ అంటే డిస్పెన్స్ అంటే ఏంటంటే పంచటము లేదంటే డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేయటము, దాన్ని డిస్పెన్సింగ్ అంటారు. సో డిస్పెన్సింగ్ మనం ఏం జరుగుతుంది, పెట్రోల్ పంప్స్లో మనకి వాళ్ళు సిఎన్జి డిస్పెన్స్ చేస్తారు, పెట్రోల్ డిస్పెన్స్ చేస్తారు, దాంతో పాటుగా దే విల్ డూ డీజిల్ యాజ్ వెల్. All this fuel stations comes under dispensing units. If you say composite means an integrated unit comprising of CNG storage, cascade CNG compressor, and also CNG dispensing unit integrally attached to each of other installed inside an enclosure box. It will have both storage as well as dispensing. Mother station means a CNG facility connected to a natural gas pipeline and having a compressor meant preliminary to fill the mobile cascade of a daughter station, and also includes stationary cascade of CNG dispensing to the vehicle. It is a direct line which is connected to the natural gas pipeline. So basically, these pipelines from the generation, for example, HPCL, BPCL, and also IOCL, those kind of companies manufacture this CNG, then they will transport through pipelines. These mother stations will have direct connection from the natural gas, and they do have the stationary cascade stations for dispatching to the vehicles. Then online station means a CNG facility connected with a natural gas pipeline and having a compressor preliminary to fill the stationary cascades for dispensing CNG to vehicles. So these facilities will have pipeline connection to having a preliminary filling station for the vehicle filling as well. Then daughter stations means CNG stations not connected to natural gas pipeline and receives CNG through mobile cascades. So these daughter stations are not connected to the pipeline. It will comes to the mobile cascade in the sense it will come in a vehicles, not connected to the any pipeline. Then daughter booster stations means CNG facilities not connected to natural gas pipeline and such as dispensing stations where mobile or stationary cascade are connected to a booster compressor for increase the dispense pressure for refueling of the vehicles. So these are the stations like how we do have booster pumps. For example, if we take any example of any chemical company, so if the length of the pipeline it is so big, for example if you take a tank farm area, which means that is the a major storage where they have, then from there they will pump it to the near the production blocks. When coming to the production blocks, the length of the pipeline is so big, the pumps are not able to pump the chemical to the requirement of production. So they'll have an extra booster pump in between the line to support the filling pressure or the filling requirement of the production. That's all about the, it is all about the required rate of flow required by the operator. Then critical temperature, it means a temperature above which gas cannot be liquefied by the application of a pressure alone. Critical temperature means it is the temperature which is so important, or means a temperature above which gas cannot be liquefied. And for example, if I take critical temperature of 10, and if the temperature reaches above 10, there in such condition I can't able to liquefy the gas even though I have a sufficient amount of pressure. So to liquefy the gas from gaseous stage to liquid stage, liquefied means what, అంటే దాన్ని వాయు రూపంలో ఉన్న పదార్థాన్ని లిక్విడ్ రూపంలోకి రావడం, అంటే ద్రవ రూపంలోకి తీసుకొని రావడం. సో ఈ ద్రవ రూపంలోకి తీసుకొని రావడానికి మనకి ప్రెషర్తో పాటు ఒత్తిడితో పాటు మనకి టెంపరేచర్ కూడా కావాలి. దేర్ వి నీడ్ sufficient amount of pressure as well as the required amount of temperature, then only we could able to liquefy the gas. It is critical temperature. Then cryogenic container, this is not so important, means a double walled insulated closed metal container having 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 volume of, excuse me, Excuse me, guys. Just give me 10 seconds, please. Sorry. Kindly excuse me. Yeah. Hope still my screen is visible. Yeah. So the cryogenic container means a double-walled insulated closed metal container having volume exceeding 500 ml but not exceeding 1000 liters. Instead of filling, storage, and transportation of cryogenic liquid fabricated as per the codes which is approved by the chief controller, and also we can call as gas cylinder. So which means which are 500 ml but not above 500 ml but not exceeding the 1000 liters as a capacity. That is cryogenic container. Again, if you see a gas cylinder or a cylinder means any closed metal container having a volume exceeding 500 ml but not exceeding 1000 liters. Instead, the storage and transportation of compressed gas including any LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, container, or compressed natural gas CNG, a cylinder fitted to a motor vehicle as its fuel tank but not including any other such container fitted to a special transport or under the carriage of including composite cylinder or also cryogenic container. However, a water capacity of cylinder used for a storage of CNG, nitrogen, compressed air, etc. may exceed 1000 liters up to 3000 liters, provided the diameter of such cylinder does not exceed 60 centimeters. You need not to remember all the complete definition. You could remember only the initial first three lines. That is sufficient. So to say gas cylinder is a closed metal container having a volume of exceeding 500 ml but not 1000 liters. Okay, that is a gas cylinder. Then hydrostatic test. So this we used to do on all the compressed gas cylinders or also pressure vessels as well. So if you see a hydrostatic test means a test which is a cylinder is subjected to a hydrostatic pressure equal to the test pressure of the cylinder. So hydrostatic means I think they'll fill the water to a certain amount or 70% or 80%. Then they will test this for the test pressure. Basically, for every cylinder or pressure vessel, they have three types of pressures. One is uh, working pressure and also the test pressure. So the working pressure will be where a pressure vessel is going to operate or cylinder is going to work, means or to maintain the pressure. And test pressure will be it is almost 1.5 times over the working pressure. For example, if my working pressure is 10 kg per centimeter square, I do this testing at 15 meter for 15 kg per centimeter square. that is test pressure, which is almost 1.5 times of the working pressure. Then pneumatic test means a test which is a gas cylinder is subjected to a pneumatic pressure equal to the pneumatic test pressure. A working pressure is a specified in the manufacturing code. So every cylinder manufacturer, they definitely mention the working pressure as well as test pressure of the each cylinder. You see. So if you see, a test pressure means the internal pressure required for hydrostatic test or hydrostatic stretch test or pneumatic test of a cylinder as specified in the cylinder manufacturing codes. Now we'll see a few general provisions with respect to this gas cylinders rules. So if you see the rule number 3, which is talking about the filling, position, import or transport of cylinders, means filling of cylinders, positioning or keeping, or importing and transportation. One is filling, then storing of few amount of cylinders, then importing cylinders from other countries, then transportation from one location to other location. This is the rule. What is applicability? No person shall fill any cylinder with any compressed gas or import, possess or transport any cylinder so filled or intended to be filled with such gas unless such cylinder as its the valve have been constructed to a type and a standard specified in schedule 1, and also the test and inspection certificates issued by the inspecting authority in respect of cylinder and its valve are made available to the chief controller, and the prior approval of those said authority is obtained. Means what? One is such cylinders and valve has been constructed to the type of standard specified in schedule 1. Initially it should meet the requirement of schedule 1 with respect to the cylinder, how it is supposed to be constructed, what kind of material, and second one is the valve which is used on that cylinder. ఎక్కడైతే సిలిండర్ వాల్వ్ యూజ్ చేశారో అది ఈ షెడ్యూల్ ప్రకారం తయారు చేసి ఉండాలి. దట్ ఈస్ ద వన్. సో దీస్ బోత్ cylinder and valve both together as well, they have to meet the requirement of schedule 1. And the second requirement is the test and the inspection certificates issued by the inspecting authority in respect of cylinders and valve to be made available to the chief inspector. So before doing or filling, importing, transporting, you have to submit all the test reports to the inspector of chief controller బిఫోర్ డూయింగ్ దిస్ యాక్టివిటీ. అంటే మనము ఏదైనా సిలిండర్ని ఫిల్ చేసేటప్పుడు, పొజిషన్ అంటే మన దగ్గర స్టోర్ చేసుకునేటప్పుడు, ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు, ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ చేయడానికి, వీటన్నిటికంటే ముందు మనము ఆ సిలిండర్ దాంతోపాటు దాని ఉన్న వాల్వ్ యొక్క టెస్ట్ రిపోర్ట్స్ అనేవి కన్సర్న్ అథారిటీకి సబ్మిట్ చేయాలి. ఎవరికి? చీఫ్ ఇన్స్పెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ కంట్రోలర్కి సబ్మిట్ చేసి ఉండాలి. సో ఫర్ అబ్టైనింగ్ అప్రూవల్ అండర్ ది క్లాస్ బి, ఏదైతే మనం పైన చూసామో ఆఫ్ సబ్ రూల్ 1, ద ఫాలోయింగ్ పర్టికులర్ షాల్ బి సబ్మిటెడ్ టు ది చీఫ్ కంట్రోలర్, నేమ్లీ ద టోటల్ నంబర్ ఆఫ్ serial numbers of the cylinders. So how you get approval for filling, position, import and also transporting? By giving total number of cylinders or serial numbers of the cylinder. అంటే మన దగ్గర ఎన్నైతే సిలిండర్స్ ఉన్నాయో వాటి యొక్క సీరియల్ నెంబర్స్ ఇవ్వాలి. The name and address of the manufacturer of the cylinders, Then specification of the cylinder and also the valve specification అంటే ఏంటి, అది సైజ్ అంత, ఏ మెటీరియల్ వాడారు, ఎట్లా పనిచేస్తుంది, ఎంత ప్రెషర్ ఫిల్ చేస్తారు, ఇవన్నీ. Then a previous approval, if any. So if already the specific facility have an approval, then they can show the previous one to get the renewal. Then the test and also inspection certificates in respect of the cylinders. So as clause B talking about these certificates, those certificates has to be there, and a security scrutiny fee of for schedule 5. Excuse me guys. Then we have test certificates and also the scrutiny fee as per the schedule 5. So altogether you have to submit to the chief controller so that he will give the approval. Okay. So basically these valves made under these two different standards. One is IS 3224 and the other standard which is IS 3745, and LPG will be IS 1500, then 12300, then 9798. These are the standards which will refer for the specification of the valves. Okay, you can go through the standards for the more detail. For the exam point of view, it is not so important. Then safety uh, relief device. Uh, The cylinders manufactured in India is fitted with the safety relief valves device in their bodies and shall have safety devices manufactured and maintained in accordance with the IS 5903. So safety relief valves or the feasible plugs, those fittings has to conform this safety relief devices and also IS 5903. ఏవైతే సేఫ్టీకి సంబంధించిన రిలీఫ్ వాల్వ్స్ ఉన్నాయి అవన్నీ కూడాను IS 5903 స్టాండర్డ్కి మీట్ అయి ఉండాలి. Then marking on the cylinders. So if you see a marking on the permanent and also liquefied gas cylinders, there we could see the manufacturers and also owners. Then we'll see the specification of the cylinder, I mean the type of material which is used, and also a symbol indicates the natural heat treatment and also the date of last hydrostatic test when it has been tested. Then also tire weight and also native weight of the cylinder. And if you see in the valve also we could see some kind of information which is about the specification of the valves and also year and month and also the quarter when it is manufactured. Then we'll have a manufacturer a symbol, then we'll have working pressure, then also we'll have name or the chemical symbol of the gas, and also the screw threads on outlet in the case of left hand or LH, and also inspector's stamp. So when we see a valve, all this kind of information will be there. అంటే ఒక వాల్వ్ పైన మనకి ఇలాంటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అనే దాన్ని మనం చూడొచ్చు. Then if you see a color coding, cylinder color coding, it is IS 4379, which is industrial cylinders color coding. Basically, if you see the cylinders of the color code, uh, sorry guys, 1 minute, my son is crying for me. I just came to hometown. Just give me a minute. Onama. Yeah. So if you see the color code of the cylinder, non-flammable and toxic will have an color on the shell will be a white, and also non-flammable but toxic will have a white and also the yellow color on the as a band. Then flammable but non-toxic, including other than LPG, will be have a red in band. Then flammable and toxic will have red and yellow, and other gases will have minor colors which are there. And then fire extinguishers will have completely it is in a red in color. This is known to everyone. Even if you see the IS 4379, where we'll have detailed information with respect to the color coding, we can see. Then with respect to the labeling, every cylinder shall be labeled with the name of the gas, and also name and address of the person by whom the cylinders was filled. Then every cylinder intended to be exported shall be labeled with the name of the gas as per the HAZCAM, hazardous chemicals, and IS standard 7225. And with respect to warning labels, so definitely as per the gas cylinders rules, we should not do any alterations. అంటే ఈ రూల్స్ ప్రకారము మనము సిలిండర్స్ కి ఎటువంటి ఆల్టరేషన్స్, మనం బైక్ కి కార్ కి ఎలాగైతే విల్ డూ ద మోడిఫికేషన్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్టరేషన్స్ ఆన్ అవర్ ఆటోమొబైల్స్, the same way we are not supposed to do any alterations. Even though for the all lifting tools and tackles also we are not supposed to do any alterations, like chain slings. We could see few people, they used to do a welding in case of any breakage of gas cylinder. We have to discard that, and we are not supposed to do any alterations. Same way for the cylinders also, we are not supposed to do any alteration or repairs. So one is, do not change the color of the cylinder. So in case it is a very old cylinder, it is rusted or it is removed, we are not supposed to do any change of the color code. Then this cylinder shall not be filled with any gas other than the one in the it is contains. Means if it is having LPG, we should not do CNG, or we are not supposed to do nitrogen or hydrogen. We should not change the gas which is currently existing inside the cylinder. అంటే దాన్ని ప్రతిసారి మార్చి మార్చి యూజ్ చేయకూడదు. No flammable material should be stored in the close vicinity of the cylinders in the same room in which is kept. అంటే ఏంటంటే మండే పదార్థాలు, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద కంబస్టబుల్స్ ఆర్ ఫ్లేమబుల్ మెటీరియల్స్, we are not supposed to store near or in the same room. No oil or similar lubricant shall be used on the valve and also the fittings for this cylinder. So lubrication, we are not supposed to do apply any lubrication, grease or oils on the valves of the cylinders. Then with respect to the restrictions on delivery or dispatch of cylinders, so delivery means you are transporting and you are giving to the somebody, and also dispatch, both are same, which is mostly about the transporting and you are delivering to a user or any other uh, customer. If you see, no person shall deliver or dispatch any cylinder filled with any compressed gas to any other person in India, which is not the holder of license, and to possess such gas cylinder or to his authorized agent unless he is exempted under the rules to possess compressed gas cylinder without a license. Simply, it is in a simple manner. Until unless you are not having any license, you are not supposed to deliver, or you are not supposed to dispatch, you are not supposed to transport any filled cylinder within India to any other person until unless you are not having a license. Maybe some amount of quantity is there for without a license. For such quantity you can do, over that you are not supposed to do. Then here also we have prohibition of employment, child labor. No child under the age of 18 years and no person who is in a state intoxication shall be employed in charge of loading, unloading and transportation of compressed gas cylinder in any pressure licensed under these rules. One is, we are not supposed to hire any child labor, and also intoxicants. Somebody in under the condition of alcohol, those kind of people are not supposed to be employed for loading and unloading, transporting and delivering of those cylinders. Prohibition of smoking, fire, light, and also dangerous substances. No person shall be smoke, no fire and other blow pipe flame for the repair or any articles. Such other substances of flammable nature are liable to a place spontaneous ignition and cause uh, communicate the fire and also explosion. Simple that, no such kind of material, equipment or things which are not supposed to be bring, or which is not supposed to be shared or store near the cylinders. Then we have some general precautions as well.